The Atlanta Dream is a professional basketball team based in Atlanta, playing in the Eastern Conference in the Women's National Basketball Association. The team was founded before the 2008 WNBA season began. The team is owned by Dream 2 LLC, which is composed of two Atlanta businesswomen, Mary Brock and Kelly Loeffler. Like some other WNBA teams, the Dream is not affiliated with an NBA counterpart, even though the Dream share the market with the Atlanta Hawks. The Dream has qualified for the WNBA playoffs in 6 of its 8 years in Atlanta and has reached the WNBA Finals 3 times. The franchise has been home to many high-quality players such as University of Louisville standouts Angel McCoughtry and Shoni Schimmel, former Finals MVP Betty Lennox, and Brazilian sharpshooter Izzy Castro Marques. In 2010, the Dream went to the WNBA Finals but fell short to Seattle. They lost to the Minnesota Lynx in the 2011 and 2013 WNBA Finals. They have been in the finals for 3 of 4 years but haven't won a single game in them, going 0-9. Franchise history. Franchise inception. Even before the success of the United States women's basketball team in the 1996 Olympic Games, the American Basketball League had interest in placing a women's professional basketball team in Atlanta. Plans were made to place a women's pro team in Atlanta as early as 1995. 8 of the 12 Olympians would play on ABL teams when the league began play in October 1996. The Atlanta Glory played at Forbes Arena and would last 2 seasons before folding before the start of the 1998-99 season, which would be the ABL's final. The dream of a new team. Atlanta had been mentioned as a possible future city for WNBA expansion, but efforts did not come together until the beginning of 2007. An organizing committee with Atlanta businessmen and politicians began the effort to attract an expansion team. The inability of the Atlanta Hawks of the NBA to draw crowds was a concern of the WNBA, and the committee kicked off an effort in February 2007 to gain volunteers and petition signatures. Phillips Arena, the Gwinnett Arena and Alexander Memorial Coliseum were candidates for venues. By May 2007, the committee had over 1,000 pledges for season tickets, although the goal was 8,000 season tickets in 90 days. By July, the committee had 1,200 commitments. The next step was to find an owner for the team. On October 16, 2007, word broke that Ron Terwilliger, an Atlanta businessman and CEO of a national real estate company, would be the future owner of an Atlanta franchise. The next day, at a news conference at Atlanta's Centennial Olympic Park, WNBA President Donna Orender made the announcement that Atlanta would officially be granted a WNBA expansion franchise. Building the Dream. On November 27, 2007, Atlanta named Marinel Meaders the first head coach general manager in franchise history. For Meaders, a coach with extensive experience at the college level, this was her second role as a coach general manager in the WNBA. Meaders had been one of the WNBA's first 8 coaches as the head coach general manager of the Charlotte Sting when the team began in 1997. Afterwards, Meaders had served as a scouting director for the Miami Soul and had been an assistant coach under Richie Agibato and Tree Rollins for the Washington Mystics. Former NBA player Dennis Rodman volunteered his name as head coach for the Dream. Terwilliger declined, stating that he wanted someone with more coaching experience and he felt that the head coach should be a woman, as the WNBA was a women's league. On December 5, 2007, an online contest was announced for people to choose the team name and team colors. The final choice would rest with owner Ron Ron Terwilliger. The names offered as choices were Dream, Flight, Surge, and Sizzle. There were also options for team colors such as lime green or hot pink. Voters had 4 different names and 4 different colors from which to choose. Atlanta's WNBA franchise announced that the team name would be the Dream on January 23, 2008. The name was inspired, in part, by the famous speech of Atlanta native Martin Luther King, Jr. The team colors would be sky blue, red, and white. Atlanta held their expansion draft on February 6, 2008 when they selected 1 player from each of the 13 teams in the league. Atlanta traded Ronica Hodges and the number 4 pick in the 2008 WNBA draft to the Seattle Storm for Izzy Castro Marquez, and Seattle's 8th pick in the 2008 WNBA draft. Also, the Dream traded the 18th pick and LaToya Thomas to the Detroit Shock for Ivory Latta. Living the Dream, from May 17, 2008 with a season-opening loss against the Connecticut Sun to July 3, 2008 with a home loss against the Houston Comets. The Dream lost 17 consecutive games, setting the WNBA all-time record for both consecutive losses and losses from opening day. The 2006 Chicago Sky had previously lost 13 consecutive games, and the 2002 Detroit Shock had opened the season 0-13. They later finished with a 4-30 record. On July 5, 2008, the Dream earned the first win in Atlanta against the Chicago Sky, ending the losing streak. They beat the Sky 91-84. The 2008-2009 off-season was a busy one. Head coach General Manager Marinel Meadows did not want a repeat of 2008. She made key moves by acquiring players such as Sancho Little, Nikki Teasley, Chamique Holdsclaw, Angel McCoughtry, and Michelle Snow. In 2009, Atlanta reached the playoffs at 18-16, exceeding the previous record by 14 wins. Despite being in the playoffs, the Dream ended the season in disappointment and lost in the first round to the 2008 champion Detroit Shock in a sweep. After the season, their coach, Marinel Meadows, was awarded the Coach of the Year award. The Dream's owner, Ron Terwilliger, announced in August that he wanted to give up his position as the primary owner of the Atlanta franchise. On October 29, 2009, Kathy Betty took control of the team. The 2010 season proved even better for the Dream. Although finishing in 4th place in the Eastern Conference, the Dream sprinted through the first 2 rounds of the playoffs. On September 7, 2010, the Dream secured a trip to the WNBA Finals with a win over the New York Liberty, as they swept New York in 2 games in the Eastern Conference Finals. They eventually faced the best team in the league, the 28-6 Seattle Storm. Seattle took the first 2 games at home with 2 close wins. Atlanta needed to win Game 3 in order to keep the series alive. Seattle was too much to handle as they completed the sweep and won the series. Even though they were swept, the Dream did not lose any game by a margin of more than 3 points. Addressing arguably Atlanta's biggest concern, the team traded for All-Star point guard Lindsey Harding prior to the 2011 season. Despite the major addition, the Dream struggled to open the season, starting just 2-7 due to an injury that sidelined Angel McCoughtry and overseas commitments by Sancho Little. The team did not give up, however, and went on an impressive run of 14 wins and 5 losses after the All-Star break. They carried that momentum into the playoffs, sweeping the Connecticut Sun and defeating the Indiana Fever to return to the WNBA Finals. But, once again they would be denied, losing to the formidable 27-7 Minnesota Lynx in 3 games. Current home. The Atlanta Dream currently play in Phillips Arena in downtown Atlanta. In 2013, the team qualified for the WNBA Finals, but a scheduling conflict forced them to play home games at the arena at Gwinnett Center. For the 2016 playoffs, should the Dream qualify, as well as the entirety of the 2017 and 2018 WNBA seasons, the Dream will play home games at Georgia Tech's Hank McCamish Pavilion due to planned renovations at Phillips Arena. Season-by-season records. Players. Current roster. Other rights-owned former players: Izzy Castro Marquez, Erica de Souza, now a member of the Chicago Sky; Katie Feenstra-Matter, Lindsey Harding, now a member of the Phoenix Mercury; Chami Coldsclaw, Ivory Latta, now a member of the Washington Mystics; Shirley Laning, later an assistant coach at Kansas State and Northern Colorado; Betty Lennox, Camille Little, now a member of the Connecticut Sun; Kristen Mann, Coco Miller, Delisha Milton-Jones, Shoni Schimmel, now a member of the New York Liberty; Michelle Snow, Nikki Teasley. Coaches and staff. Owners: Ron Terwilliger, Kathy Betty. Dream 2 LLC, composed of Mary Brock and Kelly Loeffler. Executives: CEO Peter J. Canalicchio. Head coaches, general managers: Mary Almeidas, Fred Williams, Angela Taylor. Assistant coaches: Katie Stedding, Fred Williams, Sue Panic, Carol Ross, Josie Ampe, Julie Plank, Teresa Edwards, Carlene Thompson, Tallis Frank, Miles Cooper. Statistics. Media coverage. Currently, some Dream games are broadcast on Fox Sports South and Sports South, which are local television stations for the southern United States. More often than not, NBA TV will pick up the feed from the local broadcast, which is shown nationally. Broadcasters for the Dream games are Bo Rathbun and Lakina Robinson. Prior to the 2010 season, the Dream had a deal with Comcast Charter Sports Southeast. Games on that station were called by Art Ekman and Lakina Robinson. All games are broadcast to the WNBA Live Access game feeds on the league website. Furthermore, some Dream games are broadcast nationally on ESPN, ESPN2 and ABC. The WNBA has reached an 8-year agreement with ESPN, which will pay right fees to the Dream, as well as other teams in the league.